And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to YPN Hot Seat. My name is Dakota Jordan. I own my own company, Dakota Yoga, and I am interviewing one of our lovely YPN members, Olivia Essig, today. We are so excited to have you on, Olivia. Tell us a little bit and the people about who you are.
Yeah, I am Olivia Essig. Thanks for having me on today. I'm super excited to be in the YPN Hot Seat. I am the campaign director with Sioux Empire United Way here in town.
Nice. Awesome. So tell me, how long have you been at the United Way?
About 5.5 years now, actually. So it's been my only job since I've been in Sioux Falls. So I started here when I moved to Sioux Falls, and I've been with the organization ever since.
Nice. So you said move to Sioux Falls then. So where were you before?
I was in Sioux City and stayed there a little bit after graduation. So I went to Briarcliff University in Sioux City, Iowa. So not too far. And worked there for a little while after graduation, and then kind of made my way here when I saw an opportunity. And actually had done an internship with the Siouxland United Way in Sioux City. And that's really how I kind of got into the realm of nonprofits and United Way. And was just kind of interested in being involved here in the Sioux Falls area in the same capacity.
That's awesome. When you were working in Sioux City, were you in the nonprofit world? Was that the work that you were doing like right after college?
Not right after college. So I did about 3 internships in college, and they were all with nonprofits. And then right after college, I went and worked for marketing at a small for-profit company in Sioux City. And I was there for about 6 months, and nonprofit was never in my wheelhouse. I thought, it was the internships that I got, but that wasn't my long-term plan or my long-term goal. And then I missed it as soon as I was, in an organization that we didn't really do so much of that nonprofit work. I really missed it. And so when I saw an opportunity to kind of have that involvement again. And then I'd always wanted to be in Sioux Falls. It was closer to my hometown, closer to my family. It just seemed like a good idea to kind of take the leap and apply, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. So have you been in the same role since you started, or have you moved around?
I have not. So I initially came on as the marketing associate. And in my interview, I had mentioned that I had done some campaign and almost loaned executive is what we call it here in the United Way world, work when I had my internship in Sioux City. And so I kind of mentioned that when we were interviewing, and about a month passed by after I was hired into the marketing associate position. And they said, hey, we're actually also hiring a campaign associate position. It seems like it might be a natural fit to kind of bring these roles together. And so really shortly after that, I was kind of merged into this new role that was the campaign and marketing associate, and was in that role for about a year before moving into the campaign director role.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What did you study in college then?
Mass comm and journalism was my major. And then I had a minor in marketing.
Okay. Gotcha. Never thought you would end up where you're at.
Never. I mean, and I don't know that I was 18, when you decide those things, and I don't know that I really had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew, where my kind of like my strengths were, and I loved the journalism world. I loved PR. I loved, networking and meeting people and things of that nature. And so weirdly, this has been just such a perfect fit, and was never in my mind when I was, 18, 19, deciding what my major was going to be.
Yeah. It's funny how all of that happens, right?
It is. It's
fall in your lap.
Yeah.
I love it. So you said moving closer to family. Who is family to you?
Yeah, I have one sister, and she lives here in town, Addie Pashong. She owns her own business too. You may, see her at White Space Studio, or she does some photography and other work here in town. And then she has 3 kids, and I'm very close with them, Simon, Veda, and Ivy. So I'm hanging out with them all the time. And then my parents are still in Mitchell, which is where I'm from. So, and I also have my dog, Pippa. She's my only live-in family, but she counts too. So
your housemate with a little extra love.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rent free.
Yep.
we love those ones. Yeah. You got to love them a lot if you're not
you
if you're making them pay rent. So
you do.
She might be the most loved in the family. That's awesome. So, yes, I forgot. if you have a question, if you are out there watching with us and you have a question for Olivia, besides all of the questions I'm going to berate her with, then please hit us up in the comments and we will ask away. That is the whole purpose of the hot seat, is that all of you get to know this lovely person that we have sitting here. So you've talked a lot about United Way, and obviously you're very passionate about it. But one of my questions is, what are you most passionate about? And so if that is kind of this nonprofit realm, why is it that you really wanted to get pulled back into it? What is it that you love most about this work?
Yeah. I say this a lot and I start to sound like a broken record, but I think what makes Sioux Falls and South Dakota as a whole, but Sioux Falls is so special within South Dakota, so great, is our nonprofit sector. We have such a strong network. I think that's the best word to describe it, of nonprofits that really work together. And United Way helps in facilitating that as well, by kind of being an umbrella funder to all of these great nonprofits and different services in the community. And it's something that I've always been passionate about. I guess the best way to describe it is I love to bring people to the table, give them the opportunity to kind of level the playing field a little bit, because I know that there's here in Sioux Falls, we don't always see it, but there are people in need, and there are people who need those extra resources. And it feels so good to be a part of making sure that those people get connected to the resources that they need here in the community, because they're there, which is amazing. So I've always had a passion for that. I think that my work with United Way has really strengthened that, because I've been able to really have this view of the nonprofit world and see behind the scenes a little bit more, and just see how strong it is, how many people that our nonprofits here locally help, how many people who are in need of help that you wouldn't expect. And so my passion just continues to grow when it comes to those kind of topics.
That's awesome. So you get to, obviously you're going out and talking to people and asking them for their support for the United Way. How involved do you have to be in the nonprofits? I know there's lots of nonprofits the United Way supports. So how often do you get to kind of step behind the scenes and see the work that they're doing, so that you can go out and talk about that with your donors?
Yeah, I would say that my biggest kind of introduction to that was when I was initially in that campaign and marketing division role. And that role was really responsible. I set up all of the agency tours and the agency speakers, and then I attended those agency tours. And so my very first year in Sioux Falls, my very first year with United Way, it was such a blessing. I mean, I got to attend 30 plus agency tours and go to these different nonprofit agencies and programs and bring people along that were volunteers to check them out as well. But it was such a great introduction to both Sioux Falls and United Way, because a lot of these organizations, being new to Sioux Falls, I hadn't heard of before. And so to not only, be educated as to what they did, but to be able to go behind the scenes, oftentimes seeing their clientele and really getting an inside look, I would say that was my biggest kind of jump in. And then in my role now, I continue to be able to kind of attend those tours. We bring in agency speakers a lot, so I'm often able to hear amazing testimonials about the work that's being done here in Sioux Falls. And those just, there's new ones every year. I often that we bring in the same agency speakers maybe, but they've got a new story to tell every time that I talk to them, because something new happens every month or every week, every day in their position. So it's really fascinating, and I feel so privileged to be able to have that kind of knowledge and that insight, because it's amazing what's happening here in our community.
That's so cool. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to give you a plug. So when you are making a donation in a United Way, how many organizations is a person ultimately supporting?
Over 40 agencies. And then, as you know, with agencies, there's often multiple programs under their roof. And so we fund over 80 programs through those agencies here in the Sioux Empire.
That's a lot. That's a really big impact.
A lot.
Really
Yes. It's
making the dollars stretch.
Yeah. And we raise, we have over 24,000 people that give to the United Way. We raise over $10 million, which is really impressive for a town of our size. Typically, a town or a city the size of Sioux Falls would raise under $2 million. And so that's huge, 10 million. And if you consider the fact that, of course, Sioux Empire United Way is not the only nonprofit that people are supporting, the fact that we are able to get that kind of monetary support is just next level. I mean, it says so much about our community.
Yes. And that a lot of the other nonprofits, you know, I've worked in the nonprofit world as well. And I was working at agencies that were not United Way funded. And those were still, you know, dollars are still coming in. Really, it is the support of our community. There's a lot of, obviously there's a huge need, but we have a community that really steps up and to support that in a lot of different ways. And it's really cool to see that happen. We are the second largest the only people that beat us is like a town in Florida that's like a bunch of retired people that just need to give their money away before they die, right?
Exactly. So I don't even know if we can be put in the same, you know, realm as them, but second in the nation. So pretty impressive.
How do you see, and I guess this is something that I've been concerned about being a previous nonprofit professional. There's people who have kind of set that standard in our community to pass, you know, their wealth on and to give that back to our community. How is United Way playing a role in making sure that like our generation is seeing the importance of giving back and making sure that we stay kind of at this same level of giving as, you know, generations change and money changes hands and all of this other stuff? You know, how are you maybe taking a larger role in making sure that people are educated in giving back to make sure that keeps going?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a huge focus for us right now. And, you know, I think that we are so aware of that, of course. One thing for sure is our Emerging Leaders Program, which Annie in our office helps out with. And that is really getting people who are more considered young professionals into volunteer opportunities through the United Way. So there are a variety of different opportunities. We do Sharing Christmas every year. We serve a meal at St. Francis House. So getting in the doors at some of those United Way funded agencies and trying to get them involved in that way. The other thing that I will say is we've been really focused on this year, just within our campaign cabinet and our campaigners, of trying to get some fresh blood and some new faces, and really kind of refresh that a little bit. It's amazing that we have the veteran volunteers that we have, and we are so thankful for them, and we need them. And they continue to help us. They continue to campaign and go out and ask for dollars on behalf of United Way. But we're really searching for those new faces, those new people that want to kind of be in that capacity. So I'll say that to anybody watching as well. We're always looking for volunteers and people to kind of bring to the table in that way. It's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to kind of knock on doors of businesses that maybe you wouldn't have the opportunity to connect with in another capacity. And so we've been really intentional about our asks to young leaders, young professionals, and trying to get new faces involved from a volunteer perspective, because we think that will translate then to a monetary and donation perspective, likely. So
definitely. So if people, we'll switch gears here. I feel like I could ask you questions about United Way all day long, but I also want to get to ask you questions about you so that people can get to know who you are in addition to the things that you do. So if someone is interested in, I didn't know about the United Way and I'm interested in donating, how can they donate? And then if they want to get involved in the Emerging Leaders Program, how are those, either volunteer or monetary, how can they get involved, or who do they reach out to?
Yeah, it's all on our website. So you can just go to seuw.org. You can also reach out to me directly. And then I will say, depending on where you're employed at, your employer may already have a program with United Way that they're involved with in a payroll program. So that's an option that many employers, we work with over 700 businesses here in the Sioux Empire. Many have, campaigns already set up within their office. And so that's always an option as well.
Awesome. Cool. Well, there's all the United Way information that everybody needs today. There you go. You have no excuse now. You know all about it. So let's talk a little bit more about you and YPN. So how did you start to get involved in YPN? How long have you been a member? Why'd you do it? All of that.
Oh, how long have I been a member? I think probably 4 years, maybe. And I feel like I get a little bit more involved every year. I think I originally came on because Annie in our office was so involved, and she was such a champion of YPN. And so she talked me into it, and I haven't regretted it. It's been a great opportunity. So I think about 3 years, if I had to guess. So
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So what's your favorite event that you have experienced in your 3 years of YPNing?
I think my favorite is the Kringle. It's just always so much fun. And I feel like it brings out a lot of members and even like their friends who maybe don't come to like everything or don't make it to the same things as you. So you get to see people that you might not see at like a typical lunch and learn or, off the clock or whatever. So it brings out kind of everybody, which is really fun to see everybody. And it's always a good time. So that's probably my favorite.
The Kringle is definitely my favorite as well, probably for that same reason, because you do get to meet a whole lot more people and it's just easier. Like this is the trick that I always tell people, like networking is always easy when you have someone else to like introduce people to. So like when you're going up to a group by yourself and you're just saying like, hi, I'm Dakota and so. But if you go up to a group and you're like, hi, I want to introduce you to someone, like it takes the pressure off. And so when it's like an easier in, like I'm not putting all the attention on me, I'm putting it on this person, but also, hi, this is who I am. So I feel like those ones where there's a lot of people that come in groups that know each other, like it's so much easier to kind of move around and meet people, and you get kind of a lot more, I don't know, bang for your networking buck, I guess, in that type of environment. Plus it's fun and everybody, it's a Christmas party. So best event of the year. I can't wait for the Kringle.
I know.
Every year. I was so sad when it got
canceled. I know.
I like wait around all year for the YPN Kringle. So
I know.
I don't know what that says about me. But anyway, so you are not only involved in obviously your work at United Way and your involvement with YPN, but you're also really involved in SME. So tell the people what SME is if they've never heard of it, and then kind of your involvement there and kind of the same story of how you got involved in what you do.
Yeah. So Sales and Marketing Executives of Sioux Falls is what that basically stands for. And it's really a leadership development group, I would say. A lot of good connections and people kind of in the same realm of industry that you're in or in same kind of line of work, which is nice. Specifically, I am most involved with the Women in Business event. So we went virtual this past year, but we're hoping to have it in person this year or this coming year, 2022, on March 22nd. And I think that is really where, I joined SME. I liked it. It was great. You got to network. You had some speakers. It was fun. Then I got involved on this committee of the Women in Business, and I love special events. I love a big event. And so got involved with that and have just really dove in head first. I love it. I'll be chairing it for 2022 and really excited about it. Hopefully, I think at this point we can safely say we're doing it in person in 2022, but I never say anything with total guarantee anymore. So. But so very fun group to be a part of. And we kind of, we're in discussions right now. You probably know we bring in a nationally known keynote speaker. We were going to have Erin Brockovich this past year, and we did, but she was virtual. And so this coming year, I can't announce who it is yet, but I'm really excited about bringing her here. So you'll have to stay tuned for that information.
Not giving out secrets. I feel like we're always trying to get people to give out their secrets on the hot seat, and we've been unsuccessful in doing that. So we need to work on that as Corey and I as hosts on like figuring out a way to like be better arm twisters. I'm like, you got to give a secret. You can't be in the hot seat unless you give up a secret. Otherwise we're not putting you on the list. So this is the hot seat. We got to have the dirt somewhere. So an SME is being a part of the organization is something that you kind of have to be in a specific line of work. You got to be a sales marketing executive, things like that. But these events, like the Women in Business event, is something that anybody can come to, right?
For sure. Anybody can attend, and even men. I know it's Women in Business, but we actually see a lot of men, especially for like the evening keynote. And we give out the Women of Excellence Awards. We have the keynote speaker. So I would think, the evening especially applies to, anybody of any gender, any, workplace, any status. It's just a great evening of kind of camaraderie and an awesome keynote speaker and celebrating Women of Excellence. So anybody can attend.
Yes. And I feel like we do a really good job in this community between, organizations like MB and this of really lifting up women in our community. There is like so many awards for all of the things
I know.
to recognize people, which I think is another really cool thing that we
awesome.
do. So are you involved in selecting the winners? I know it's all done by like blind.
Yeah. So this year I would be as the chair, as long as I don't have any conflicts of interest, with someone, if I knew someone that was nominated specifically. But in the past, I've actually chaired the Women of Excellence. And so I've prepared all of the nominations. So I take all the names out, I take all the identifying information like businesses and stuff, and prepare it for the judges. And I will just tell you, if it is so, like, those nominations are insane. And I know that's the case for like any nomination process, whether it's like the 4 under 40 or whatever it is. It's so hard to judge because they're all so good. And like, just reading through them, I mean, it's amazing to see people in the community that maybe you didn't know their whole story. And when you're able to read a nomination in their honor, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I know this person. This is so cool. They're awesome, So yeah. It's a tough process to judge for sure.
Yeah, we really don't know. Like, I mean, it's one of those, like, remember when there used to be like take your kid to work day, and you like got to go to like work with your parents or whatever. Yeah. Like, we don't get to do that with our friends, right? So we have really no idea like what their full job encompasses.
Yeah.
And most of the time people don't really want to like talk about that, or we serve ourselves really heavy doses of humble pie around here in the Midwest. So we just don't tell those successes. And so I really do think it's awesome that we lift so many of those up, because sometimes people just don't do it themselves. So
yeah. No, it's great.
Speaking of, since you mentioned it, I feel like I should put a plug on here because I got an email. So the 4 under 40 awards are an award that YPN does that we give out at the Crossroads Summit that will be happening. And those nominations have to be in by the end of this week, I believe. So if you know of a young professional in our community that is killing it, then you should nominate them for this award. So that's
and I didn't mention either. I guess I kind of forget, like, because it's in every other year, but the summit is another one of my favorite. I mean, I love the summit was it 2020 was the last one now?
Yeah, every 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a fun event. So loved that.
Yeah, it is coming up. I feel now I'm like putting pressure on Casey behind the scenes. Casey is behind the scenes. It's not Kayla because she's still on maternity leave, but Casey is in the back. And she might magically let us know when the Crossroads Summit is, and maybe some information on she's messaging me. August 12th is when the Crossroads Summit is. And you can purchase your tickets now nominations are due next Friday, the 25th.
There you
so
go.
You got 2 weeks. But
I've already got my tickets, so.
Got your ticket for the Crossroads Summit? I still need to get my ticket for the Crossroads Summit. So get your tickets, people. Nominate a young professional. Get your ticket for the Crossroads Summit. It's happening August 12th. There's all the plugs.
There you go.
Okay, so now back to you as a human, not the things that you're involved with, not all of the other jobs that you do. What are 3 words that describe you?
I'm terrible at questions like this, but I would say articulate, or even just like communicative. I feel like I'm a talker, and I talk things out, and really try to get out the issue. And now I say articulate.
I was like, I really love how like you said, like, because I would agree with that, but I love that how you said it, then you just can't say.
Then I just kind of, because now I'm thinking of my other 2 words too. Okay, so articulate, efficient, and I would say empathetic. And I mean empathetic in a way of, obviously with my role, we're working with agencies, but I would also say that I consider myself someone who is able to kind of see where people are coming from and their point of view. And I was looking at my Strengths Finder, because we do Strengths Finder here at United Way. When we onboard someone and they're new to the organization, we'll have them take the Strengths Finder. And one of mine was, I think it's called individualization or personalization or something like that. And really, I feel like one of my strengths is being able to say, okay, well, I disagree with you, but why do we disagree? What are we thinking, or what kind of ways do we operate that have us like this? And how can we, reach a, common answer or solution? And so I would say that is one of my strengths, and something that I would describe myself as.
I love those. I love those 3 words. That's awesome. And you mentioned, I'm gonna rat you out a little bit. You mentioned that you had to ask your mom to help with
I
those.
did. 'Cause I'm so bad at those questions, or when someone's like, "What are your strengths?" I'm like, because like you said, we were like that Midwest kind of. You don't really want to say like what you're good at out loud, you know. And so I'm like, Mom, what do you think are 3 words that describe me? So she helped me out with some of them, but I also added my own little spice. So
your flair. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, mother knows us best, right?
She
They've been there since the beginning, and they just know. So
Yep.
I'm going to see my mom this weekend, and I feel like I should ask her what my strengths are. I'd be very interested to see what she says.
Yeah. She's the person that I go to for stuff like that, because also like she doesn't think anything's wrong with me. So of course she's going to have like the best words because she's like, she thinks I'm great. So.
Yeah. That's always, if you need a self-esteem boost.
Yeah. Go to mom.
Go to mom.
Or grandma. Grandma's another good one.
Oh, I feel like grandma would probably be even more. I feel like grandparents really don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Nothing wrong with you. You're just the perfect human. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If only they knew.
Yeah.
let's not break grandma's heart.
Yeah.
Awesome. And no one else can tell me different.
Yep.
So, oh my goodness, I almost forgot what we always end our interviews with: rapid fire questions. How could I ever forget?
All right.
That. Well, now I have to Google it. So you're going to have to wait a second.
Okay. No problem. I'm all yours.
Tell the people, do you have any like quirky hobbies? Maybe they're not quirky.
I don't really, not quirky. I would say like my biggest hobby right now is like working outside in my yard. So I spend a lot of time like with gardening and little projects here and there. So that's my biggest hobby right now is just kind of doing outdoor stuff.
Gardening. Do you have a house?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's like, it was 1920 was the year it was built. So it's like, it needs things every year. So that takes up a lot of my hobby time.
Mm-hmm. Just house care, all that adulting things.
Yeah, exactly.
So not that I need you to like tell anybody like your address so they can stalk you down, but are you where? what's
like
Central
Sioux Falls. Central Sioux Falls. Yep. So fairly close to downtown, which was like, that was one of my priorities. I love downtown Sioux Falls and wanted to be within walking distance. So Pippa and I walk downtown often.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, that changes all the time. But right now I'd say Looks Marketplace. I love Looks so much.
Yeah. I forget about Looks because they're not downtown. Because
I'm
also a downtown person. And then somebody, Bonnie, Hariri mentioned Looks the other day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been there in so long. Yes, let's go.
The Brooklyn pizza is my recommendation. It's got hot honey and ricotta cheese on it. And it's so good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Favorite coffee shop in downtown Sioux Falls?
I actually really like the Breaks. I like to stop there in the mornings on like Saturdays before walking the bike trails. And I love that it's just kind of like nestled right there at the beginning of the bike trail. So I love the Breaks.
It's kind of just like tucked away in that little.
It is. Their coffee is so good. They always have different like unusual flavors and specials, which is really awesome.
Yeah. Their team over there they've got a lot of creative minds that are always coming up with sweet new concoctions for things. Okay.
Yeah.
I have my list ready. Rapid fire questions.
All right.
You ready for this?
Okay.
Here we go. They're just this or that questions. You can't think about it. You just have to pick one.
Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Call or text messages?
Text.
Toast or eggs?
Toast.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Ice cream cone or snow cone?
Ice cream cone.
Music or podcasts?
Music.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Pop or indie?
Indie pop. Can I do both?
Fair assessment. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Swimming or sunbathing?
Swimming.
Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Work hard or play hard?
Both? Come on.
Both. They're always together on inspirational signs.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't know they were separated.
Yeah, we can't separate them.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sandals.
Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Online shopping or shopping in a store?
Oh, online shopping is probably what I do the most of.
Okay. Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. There's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Save or spend?
I wish save, but realistically spend.
TV or books?
TV.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Last one, beer or wine?
Beer.
Okay, nice. I don't know how many that was. I like skipped a bunch of them. Normally I just do whatever like first 20 are on the list, but I didn't like some of them. So I skipped them and then I just kind of.
They were good. They were good. They weren't too tough. For the most part, I feel like I had a clear answer. Some of them I don't know. Like pancakes or waffles is a tough one for me because they're both so good.
It also depends on the mood. This was a question that I had to deal with. We went to the original Pancake House the other day. And I'm like, well, I mean, I love both, but like, am I in the mood for, like a thin buttermilk pancake or just like big fluffy waffle? Like
exactly.
It depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Okay. What is the best way for people to connect with you if they think that you are awesome, articulate, efficient, and forgot your other one?
Just forget articulate. Just forget about it.
If they think you're awesome and they want to hang out with you, they want to donate to United Way, they want to hear more about SME, they want to hang out with you with the Kringle, how do the people get a hold of you?
The best way is to email me. My work email is olivia@seuw.org. SEUW. Oh, it's on screen.
Boom.
Sioux Empire United Way. So that's the best way to reach me. And also, like I said, I'm out walking around downtown all the time. So if you see me, say hi.
I love it. Tell the people before we end, what is your favorite quote or piece of advice that you've received?
I'll go with piece of advice, and this probably sounds bad, but I always am like the fake it till you make it. Like everybody has imposter syndrome and nobody's an expert at anything. And so I think the best advice I ever got is that nobody knows what we're doing. We're all just floating through life doing our best, and don't be so hard on each other. Don't be so hard on yourself. And there's a lot of people who probably think that you are the expert and they probably look up to you a lot. So live that way.
Yeah. And in reality, you probably are about whatever the thing it is that you're really passionate about. You know a whole lot more than people. So give yourself some credit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love it. Okay. So next week, Tracy Quint is in the hot seat. She'll be interviewed by Corey, I believe. And you can always catch us here every Friday from approximately noon to noon 30-ish. If you're interested in being in the hot seat, you can reach out to us and we will get you on the schedule so that you can promote all of the things that you are and tell all the people how awesome you are and gain a bunch of new friends afterwards. So that is all we have for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.